Yes, like many self-funded retirees, my wife and I are not on a high income. But if we lose our franking credits, we lose 20% of our annual income. Labor members have advised that we should seek financial advice on restructuring our affairs, but nothing will give us the same income as we get now. Bill Shorten has said that he wants to increase the basic wage for low-income earners, yet he seems happy for a retired couple to live on the less income than the basic wage. How does this equate to Labor's slogan for making Australia a fairer country? Thank you.
Well, Les, first of all, there's something which we need to understand about our retirement system is we have a pension. 2.6 million people are on it, full or part-time. But you only get the pension if you have assets below a certain amount, income below a certain amount. Above that, people mightn't realise, but in superannuation, up to $1.6 million in accounts, all the income you get from your shares and your assets, all the income is tax-free. But what happened in 2001 is John Howard said, well, if you own shares and you get 30%, you get a dividend from the shares and interest from them, that he'll give you 30% on top of that. It's a government payment. You're not self-funded when you're getting a government payment because you own shares. It's just not means-tested. So this gift, when you get an income tax cheque in the mail and you haven't paid income tax, it's a gift. And the thing is, this gift is paid for by millions of people who go to work. Did you know that 500,000 Australians pay on average $11,000 tax a year, $11,000 tax a year? Every dollar that these 500,000 people pay in taxes goes to the gift, to people who happen to be lucky enough to own shares in retirement, get a dividend, and then we top it up. I know it's a complicated explanation. It affects 4% of people. And what we'll also do for Les is when he's sick, we'll make sure Medicare is better funded.
He's on a video, so he can't do any follow-up questions, but can I do for him a follow-up question? Do you accept this policy is going to hit a percentage of low-income retirees on self-managed super funds, as well as the rich ones that you're targeting?
Well, actually...
Because he's basically saying you're going to... OK, good, keep going then.
Low-income people are on the pension. Now, that doesn't mean that it's illegal or immoral to get a free payment from the government because you own shares. I'm not judging it. I get it. I wouldn't want to lose that either. I understand that point. But it's now costing $6 billion. When will we be honest enough to admit that just giving $6 billion to some people because they don't pay income tax, that we write a cheque and put it in the mail? Do you know some of the people receive $250,000 in tax refund for tax they haven't paid? What I will also do...
The point about this fellow is he's at the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, and I'm not...
I just simply said, do you accept that some low-income retirees are going to be hit pretty hard by this?
Well, what you're saying is that when you're a retiree, you never have to use any of your shares. The whole principle of superannuation was to give you enough to be comfortable in retirement. It was never meant to be that the government would top you up, you could keep all your shares, and you'd never have to spend a cent in retirement. It is a difficult issue. I don't blame Les for not wanting to lose some money. I don't blame him at all. But you've got to ask yourself a question. How do we pay for aged care in this country? How do we pay for dental care in this country? How do we pay for medical care in this country? It's a change. We've still got a safety net. But what I understand is not everyone likes this, but there is a sensible reason to do it. Because if it's costing the budget $6 billion now, let me rephrase the question. How much will it have to cost the budget before we say we can't afford it? It's gone up 12 times in the last 18 years. When will it be too much?
OK, you've got the answer. We're going to move on.